Political Islam refers to multiple realities. There is one big thread of scholarship on Islamic political parties, how they emerge, how they negotiate during elections, if there are elections. The other one is more recent and has to do with radical or political violence at the international level through groups like Al-Qaeda or ISIS now. This is a kind of vast array of topics that are covered today by political Islam, with the ongoing question, is this really Islam? Is it only politics? Scholars of Islam tend to take the question seriously and look at the Islamic tradition in a sort of continuity from medieval time until now to explain how much or how little ISIS is actually Islamic. And the group of political scientists tend to dismiss the question altogether, saying that there is nothing Islamic in ISIS because it's all about political power and control of populations. The book looked at the genealogy, historical evolution of what is political Islam, and the main point made is that we have to consider the creation of the nation state in Muslim countries as the starting point of discussion about being member of a political community and being member of the Islamic tradition. The Ummah today will be defined or is defined as a community of all Muslim believers, while in history, until the end of the Ottoman Empire, it was referring to the totality of territories under the control of the Caliph. But it meant that if I was a Greek Orthodox in Istanbul, I was part of the Ummah. So this kind of diversity, plurality was challenged by the concept of nation. And that's why you see emerging at the end of the 19th century, at the time of the decline of the Ottoman Empire, a whole kind of question, what is to be Muslim? What is to be Ottoman? Can I be Christian and Ottoman? You have all these questions coming up that didn't happen before. I think this is something that has been lost in any discussion we're having on political Islam, because we assume that the national unit is natural. It was not natural. It meant that once the elite in the Ottoman Empire got in contact with European political powers, they start discussing the legitimacy, the validity of nations, where scholars start saying, we don't want a nation based on ethnicity or language. We want a nation based on religious link. So this is where political Islam starts, actually. And usually we tend to look at Islamism as a sort of reaction against the secular state. That's not how it happens. My point is to say that you cannot deny the Islamic dimension of ISIS, but you cannot either say that by looking at medieval discussion on Sharia, you're going to understand what ISIS wants. There is an intellectual history of the concepts that are now used not only by Islamists, but also secular actors in Muslim countries. The term Sharia, Ummah, Jihad. And mid-19th century, you see religious authorities starting to invest Ummah in a different way, in the sense that they are looking at Ummah as a political community based only on the Islamic link. But interestingly, the secular are also doing the same. And this is where you see emerging also a connection that didn't happen before between being member of a nation and being member of Islamic tradition. Turkey is a case in point. At the end of the Ottoman Empire, Kemal Atatürk, with the agreement of the international community, defined a space that he called Turkey, with Turkish as a language and Islam as a religion. This is what the nation does. The nation was an homogenization process that was used by secular elite, including Islam, create a monist form of Islam that didn't exist before. And this is what I call political Islam. For the political aspect, I would say, let's stop saying that Islam needs reform, because political Islam, as I show in the book, come from the reform, actually. Muslim countries have encountered modernity. So when I hear now Islam needs reform, actually the reform did happen. It didn't produce the results we would like it to have, but it was there.